I'm Daria. I'm Global Shaper in the Malmo Hub here in Sweden. I'm German and my partner is Guatemalan Spanish. So we really have experienced the pandemic and the different approaches countries have taken from various angles. At the beginning, it was really tough. We didn't really comprehend the situation. We didn't know what to believe, what not to believe. And of course, we were really worried about our families abroad. My aunt, she had to close down her restaurant. My in-laws were in 90-day lockdown in Spain. Our tenants here lost their jobs, so we had to cover the rent. And meanwhile, we were trying to work from home and get adjusted to the new situation. So it was hard. It was quite tough, especially mentally. But now we have found a rhythm and not watching the news so much. We as global shapers can do our part in our local communities, but we need health officials and ministers to really lead with vulnerability, authenticity, transparency, to bring people together in these unprecedented times.
Yes, what really affected me and my family was the lockdown. Here in Ukraine, we had a traveling ban with no planes, trains, buses, and most of the shops closed. That period was really difficult and scary. Still, the daily new cases are on the rise here, and my main concern is that people don't take it seriously and don't know much about it. According to one survey, 2/3 of Ukrainians believe that the virus was either artificial or intentionally spread. We had a project in our hub to translate the WHO verified information and share the truthful messages. However, there is an enormous amount of misinformation and propaganda about the coronavirus, and a lot of people seriously believe it. I think that fighting this misinformation and propaganda should be the focus. We certainly should communicate better in the local communities and explain the causes, symptoms, and risks as much as possible. Thank you.
I'm Mariela Palmieri, a global shaper from the Rome Hub. As the pandemic started to spread in Italy with alarming mortality rates, I was forced in lockdown far away from my family, and I was also afraid to join them after the lockdown was over because I was afraid to infect them. COVID really changed our social behaviors and the way we interact with other people. But what I could really observe during the lockdown is the huge socioeconomic impact that the COVID was having in our country. I was among the lucky ones with a permanent contract. I could work from home, but many young people lost their jobs. Their contracts were not renewed. Internships were stopped. And there were many surveys showing how Italian young people were extremely pessimistic about their future, and they saw their careers compromised. It's clear now that another lockdown is not going to be sustainable for Italy. Therefore, we will have to adopt strategies like other European countries in which we learn to coexist with the virus and contain it. We need, therefore, state and health ministries to take the right decisions today and the right investments, both for the short term, but we also need to start investing in the long term, because we want to make sure that when these cyclical pandemics happen, when different disasters happen, our health systems, research institutes are ready to face them. But also more in general, our country systems are ready to face these challenges and avoid any other global crisis.
Hi, my name is Rory McHugh, and I'm from Galway in the west of Ireland. COVID-19 has affected me in much the same way as that it has affected everyone else, but it has affected me personally because it has seriously affected a lot of my job opportunities. I had just graduated from a master's degree in the tourism sector, and just by the time I had a couple of interviews lined up after months of job hunting, COVID-19 came along and seriously hampered my job chances. I know a lot of people who are in a similar situation to me, where their job opportunities have just been decimated and they are seriously struggling financially now, especially when this is coupled with the economic uncertainty that the virus has brought. I guess my question to the EU leaders would be, if the graduates of today are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow, then how are you going to help us, and how are you going to fund the future and support us as we try to kickstart our careers?
COVID-19 has affected youth in so many different ways. Whilst we in the Global Shapers community an initiative backed by the World Economic Forum, have done so many projects pertaining to COVID-19, including spreading factual information with WHO Euro for youth across Europe and Eurasia, it's clear that more needs to be done. The decisions that you make today will have a serious impact on our future. Please, when creating strategies pertaining to COVID-19, especially with matters pertaining to youth, do have us involved and let us be part of the solution rather than just part of the problem. As the UN Youth Strategy mentions, we strongly encourage the creation of youth advisory boards such that you can understand better the needs and wants of youth in your specific country, as WHO Euro is currently doing with us right now. We look forward to solving this pandemic together because, after all, together we are stronger.